Good Wednesday evening, everybody. This is Stephen Ray, and I wanted to jump here real quick on social media and let you know, kind of give you guys a quick weather update. We have a line of rain and thunderstorms that is currently passing through Mississippi, and this is stretching all the way from Hernando, Mississippi, all the way down to the Jackson metro area. But the reason that I'm here is because I wanted to let you guys know, if you're over here in the Delta of Mississippi, basically, if you are south of Greenville and north of Rolling Forks and near Yazoo City, Mississippi, there is a tornado warning over here just across the state line over here in Arkansas, and there is a confirmed tornado with this storm coming through the Kellenborn and Eudora, Mississippi, Arkansas area. So your tornado would be right back in here, and this would be moving towards the Hollandale and Isola, Mississippi area, and then eventually getting really close over here to the Greenwood, Mississippi area, and then eventually getting over here to Carrollton and the I-55 corridor if it holds together. So once again, this is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground in far southeastern Arkansas, and it is moving towards Hollandale as we speak right now. So there is no formal warning for Hollandale or Arcola. Hope I'm saying that correctly. But there is a confirmed tornado across far southeastern Arkansas with this one thunderstorm. So that is the only storm of concern that we have right now in the state of Mississippi. Now, I do need to mention that with this same storm a couple of hours ago, you can see that we're zoomed in here near Bastrop, Louisiana. And this storm was in the area near Bastrop, Louisiana at 7:40 this evening. At 7:40, trees were blown down and a home was damaged with residents trapped inside with possible injuries. And this is 4 miles to the north-northeast of Bastrop, Louisiana, as of 7:40 this evening. So about an hour ago, a tornado touched down very briefly on the northern side of Bastrop, Louisiana. And then here recently, a storm spotter, as of 8:05, confirmed a tornado, observed a stovepipe tornado crossing Highway 185 just southeast of the city of Wilmont, Arkansas. So this storm has had a history of producing a tornado and damage, and it is moving into the Delta of Mississippi here very, very shortly. So I wanted to jump here and let you guys know that there is a confirmed tornado down with this storm, and it is the only storm of concern that we have to deal with right now. If you're basically over here from Hernando all the way down to Jackson and Brookhaven, you guys are just experiencing some heavy rain, some lightning, and maybe a few gusty winds. But the main storm is going to be this one. That is back here south of Greenville and just off to the southwest of Hollandale, moving towards the city of Hollandale as we speak. Now, like I said, there is no formal tornado warning for any portion of Mississippi. However, I do think that will be changing here very soon. So this warning goes for another 23 minutes for southeastern Arkansas. And this was a confirmed tornado that was moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So this is a pretty serious situation coming up here. I'm just going to show you where if you are in this circle, you need to go ahead and think about being in your safe place within the next 10 to 15 minutes. If you're over here towards Arcola or Hollandale, Mississippi, you need to go ahead and think about being in your safe place or going to your safe place in the event that a tornado warning is issued. And I would almost guarantee that with the confirmed damage that we've had and the confirmed tornado sightings that we've had back here over Louisiana, there is no doubt that the Weather Service in Jackson will probably issue a tornado warning here very soon for the for the western portions of Mississippi. And there is no formal watch. Let me repeat, there is no formal watch right now for any portion of Mississippi. However, if you're just now joining me, there is a confirmed tornado just across the state line from Arcola and Hollandale, Mississippi. I'm circling Hollandale, and there would be your potential tornado that is pushing off towards the Arcola and Hollandale, Mississippi area. The state line from Mississippi into Arkansas is basically what you see, this line right here that I'm drawing. That would pretty much be the state line of Mississippi and Arkansas. And so that is the situation that we have ongoing right now. And like I said, let me go ahead and zoom back out and show you that that is the only storm of concern. Everywhere else in Mississippi is seeing rain and heavy rain at times, moderate rain, and lightning. But that is the only severe storm and tornadic storm right now is the one that is pushing into the delta of Mississippi. Okay, tornado warning from Jackson has just, hold on, let me see. Okay, tornado warning has now been issued for Glen Allen and James, Mississippi. Okay, so that is with this storm over here. And once again, the Weather Service continues to say observed and then goes back to radar indicated. So this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes and damage back here across northern Louisiana and southeastern Arkansas. So there would be your potential tornado coming here towards the Hollandale, Mississippi area. And I can actually show you that from downtown Hollandale, the potential tornado is 17 miles to the southwest of your location. So let me go on in here and see if I can show you where the actual tornado would be. And it would be in this area right up here, just off to the northeast of Eudora, Arkansas. And like I said, the state line is getting pretty close to coming into the delta of Mississippi as we speak. So once again, this is a tornado warning for places in Mississippi, such as Glen Allen and James, Mississippi, until 9 p.m. So this goes for another 20 minutes for the potential of a tornado. And I also need to mention once again, I know I'm repeating myself, but this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes with damage back here north of Bastrop, Louisiana, and then just here south of Wilmont in Arkansas. Now, there were potential injuries up here north of Bastrop, Louisiana. As of about an hour ago, trees were down on a home and it was damaged with residents trapped inside and possibly injured. So that is why you need to take this thing seriously if you're here across Arcola or Hollandale, Mississippi, because this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes. Okay, so the reason that I'm here is for one tornadic storm in far western Mississippi. Everywhere else in Mississippi, Grenada, Vidon, Kosciusko, Canton, Jackson, all of you guys are seeing rain. However, you're not seeing anything severe right now. Now, we do need to watch these storms that are coming into Brookhaven as well, as we are under a slight risk of seeing severe storms through the rest of the evening and the overnight hours. And then we also need to turn our attention to these broken line of storms, which is actually along the actual cold front that just pushed through the Little Rock, Arkansas area as it continues to push on off to the south and to the east. And I do note that there is also a severe thunderstorm warning that is up here on the Arkansas, Missouri boot hill up here, just off to the south of Poplar's Bluff in Missouri. But for once again, there is a tornado warning for Glen Allen and James, Mississippi, that has a history of producing a tornado, and thus the reason that I'm here. So I would expect the Weather Service in Jackson at any moment to go ahead and issue a new warning up here towards, I would say, places like Arcola, Hollandale, and then Inverness as well if it continues to push on off and holds together. And unfortunately, this actual tornado is and this storm is in a bad location in between radars, in between Columbus, Jackson, and Little Rock, Arkansas. So it's in a bad spot to actually try and see what is actually going on inside the storm. We are too far away from Memphis as well. So I guess we're going to have to stay with Jackson for a little bit longer. But your actual tornado with this storm would be situated right here. And if you continue to track this on out, it looks like it would try to cross in between Arcola and Hollandale, more closer to Arcola. But if you're in Hollandale, you need to go ahead and think about being in your safe place as well. So once again, this is a radar indicated tornado. However, with every other update from the Jackson National Weather Service, they keep going back and forth from observed to radar indicated. So you need to go ahead and be in your safe place right now. If you are from basically Leland, Mississippi, all the way down to, I would say, Hollandale. Now, there's no formal warning right now, but if it continues to show signs like this, I would not be surprised to see the Weather Service issue yet another warning for this, and that would be where your possible tornado would be at this time. I also note that there are other areas of straight line winds, and we need to keep an eye on this area down here and this one down here as well as they continue to push on off to the north and to the east. So once again, if you're just now joining me, this is one lone thunderstorm on the backside of a complex of storms that is moving through Mississippi. There's no sign of any rotation with any of these storms that are near Grenada or Durant or Goodman or Winona, Mississippi. This is just going to be a straight line wind. Now, I do note that this area right here, Okay, so we're going to have to definitely watch that area as well, just off to the southeast of the city of West. So I'm sure the Weather Service is keeping a close eye on that. And if that stayed on its current track, it would take it over here towards the Ackerman and Sturgis area as well. So once again, we're going to have to keep our eye on that one as well. And then this one down here south of Kosciuszko. So things may actually be trying to do an uptick with the severe weather here across central Mississippi. Now, if you go over here to the Columbus, Mississippi radar, it does not look as intense. However, from Jackson, that is a pretty significant little couplet there that is coming just off to the southeast of West Mississippi. I apologize, guys. I do apologize about that. Okay, so let me go on ahead and re-show you what I'm talking about because I apologize about that. I did not know that my internet had cut off. I apologize. But what I'm talking about is this area of rotation that is coming up here just off to the southeast of West Mississippi. That right there is showing signs of strengthening, and that would ultimately come up here towards Ackerman, Weir, and French Camp, Mississippi. And tornado warning has now been issued further west for Hollandale, Mississippi. Okay, so we've got our first tornado warning for Mississippi right now. So let me go over here and let me show you. We will look at the new polygon ourselves, and I will tell you that Hollandale is going to be in the new tornado warning from the National Weather Service over there in Jackson. So there is your old couplet. There is your old polygon warning, and here any second now, the new polygon will pop up on your screen. We got a tornado warning, including Indianola, Hollandale, and Moorhead, Mississippi. And this warning goes for let's see, for about an hour until 9:45. So once again, we are awaiting the polygon to pop up, and there's your new polygon. And this does include Indianola, Inverness, Isola, Hollandale, and Arcola, plus Moorhead. So if you are if you are in any of these locations over here in Mississippi, and especially Indianola or Hollandale, you need to go ahead and be in your safe place right now. This is the lowest floor of your home, near the center and away from windows. This tornado warning expires in 53 minutes. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Avon, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Now, listen to this. Hollandale, about 9 o'clock. That's when this tornado will be over you. Let's see, Isola at around 9:20. Indianola and Inverness around 9:25, and then Moorhead getting up here towards the 9:35 time frame this evening. So once again, this is a radar indicated tornado, but I do want to mention that the storms have had a history of producing tornadoes with them back in southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. So once again, there is your storm of concern that is sitting on the Delta, in the Delta right now, and is completely into the state of Mississippi. So let me go on ahead and pull on the couplet, and let me show you that the area of concern would be right back in here. But I also know that there is a secondary one trying to form down in this area as well. So this is going to be a pretty serious situation coming in here towards the Hollandale area and the Arcola area over here in Mississippi. So once again, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Avon, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So once again, this is a radar indicated tornado, and this would be over here just north of Rolling Forks. Now, if you're not familiar with where this is over here in Mississippi, let me go on ahead and show you that Greenville, Mississippi would be right in this area right here that I'm circling. Greenwood, Mississippi on Highway 82 would be right in here. The Jackson, Mississippi Metro would be down here. And then, of course, you can see Winona, Mississippi along Highway 50 or Interstate 55 would be over in this area. And then, of course, down here, you have Yazoo City, Mississippi, which is in the Delta of Mississippi as well. This is nowhere near any large city. The only large city that the tornado warning does actually include is Hollandale, and then getting up here into Indianola, Mississippi. And this is north of the city of Yazoo City right now. So there are multiple areas of rotation right now. There is one that is trying to develop up here, and there's another one that is trying to develop down in this area down here as well. So this is a radar indicated tornado. Basically, if you are within this polygon, you need to be in your safe place right now. That is the lowest floor of your home, near the center and away from windows. And while I'm here, I want to also check on these areas of rotation that are here in central Mississippi as well. Now, there are no formal tornado warnings in central Mississippi. However, there are a couple of areas that look suspicious to me on radar, and that one looks pretty significant coming up there south of Iden and north of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So I would not be surprised to see the Weather Service issue a tornado warning or at least a severe thunderstorm warning for this area right in here. Now, you may be wondering what can you expect for the overnight hours. You can expect this line of storms to continue to push on off to the east and to the northeast as well. Because these storms have had a history of producing storms and tornadoes back here across northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. And I do note that this cell right here is trying to take on a supercellular characteristic just over the city of Durant and just west of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So we're definitely going to have to keep our eye on those because those are the ones when they get situated out there like that. These are the ones that can and often do produce the tornadoes, and that's where I'm seeing the signs of rotation within this area up here, and then another area across Durant right here, and then this other area down here south of Kosciuszko. So once again, going to have to keep our eyes on that for central Mississippi. But for right now, there's only one tornado warning, and this warning goes for Hollandale, Arcola, Inverness, Indianola, Isola, and of course Moorhead over here for a storm that has had a history of producing tornadoes all across its lifespan. That has been producing tornadoes back here just south of Wilmot in Arkansas and north of Bastrop, Louisiana. So once again, there is one storm of concern right now that actually does have a tornado warning on it. I'm also concerned about this area of storms that is over here just off to the northeast of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. I'm sorry, northwest of Kosciuszko. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on those. Now down here a little bit further off to the south, we may have to keep our eye on this one north of Brookhaven as well. But let me see if there are any other signs of rotation. And thank goodness, from this vantage point, there are not. So the only areas of rotation would be this one up here towards the French Camp area in Mississippi. And so we're going to have to keep our eyes on that one because those could come over here towards Eupora, Ackerman, and Starkville as we progress into the nighttime hours. But once again, the reason that I'm here is because we have a tornado warning that includes Hollandale, Arcola, Indianola, and Inverness, Mississippi. And this warning goes for another 45 minutes. And this warning was issued about 10 minutes ago, and as of 10 minutes ago, this tornado, severe storm capable of producing a tornado, was located over Avon, or moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So once again, now I will tell you that this one is looking like now that it is looking more like a straight line wind event coming here into West Mississippi, and especially when you have this kind of a bowing segment here. So that looks pretty significant if you're over here towards, I hope I'm saying this right, Belzon and Silver City. Just know that there is a bowing line of storms that is just off to your west and southwest that is coming up on you right now. And I'm really surprised that the Weather Service in Jackson has not issued anything or is not saying anything about this area of rotation and this storm that is over here just off to the north of Kosciuszko, because that right there is definitely taking a look of a supercell thunderstorm. So once again, this is Stephen Ray, aka Stingray. Mississippi State, former Mississippi State superfan Stingray, and I'm providing severe weather coverage for you guys right now here on social media. It is currently 9 p.m., and we are watching a tornado warning that is coming into the Hollandale, Mississippi area in the Delta of Mississippi right now. We also have other signs of rotation, but no formal warning over here just to the north of Kosciuszko and just off to the west of McCool and Ackerman, Mississippi. And for my friends over here, Maven, Starkville, Eupora, and you guys need to really watch this storm as it continue to push on off to the north and to the east. So once again, there is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado that is coming through the Hollandale, Mississippi area right now as we speak. So if you're in Hollandale, please go ahead and be in your safe place right now. Your possible tornado, honestly, though, would be probably down here in this area, moving off to the northeast, coming up here towards the Belzoni, Mississippi area. But if you are anywhere in this actual polygon box, basically from Indianola all the way down to the Silver City, need to go ahead and be in your safe place, because this looks like a pretty significant straight line wind event coming in here as well. So once again, there is a tornado warning for Hollandale. And this is a pretty significant situation, because we actually do have a couple of reports about an hour ago. When the storm was over Bastrop, Louisiana, it actually did damage and had a confirmed tornado with it. So once again, this is a radar indicated tornado. But once again, this needs to be watched, and especially this stuff up here that is concerning me near Ethel and Kosciuszko, because this is actually showing signs of exhibiting rotation, and that is actually becoming more supercellular in nature up here towards Durant, West, and Kosciuszko. So let me go on ahead and pull on velocity, and that's about as tight as you can get. That's spinning. There's your area of rotation. There's another area of rotation, and then a third one is down here south of Kosciuszko. So if you track those on out, this one over here, the northern one would come over here in between Eupora and Starkville. The one a little bit further off to the south would come over here towards McCool and Ackerman. And the other one over here, the far southern one, would come over here in between Ackerman, Louisville, and Noxaprater, Mississippi. So there are 3 areas of rotation with no warnings. 3 areas of rotation with no warnings in central Mississippi. And then, of course, there is the actual tornado warning for the Hollandale, Mississippi area as well. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to the Columbus, Mississippi radar site. And yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of rotation just off to the north of Kosciuszko. So something is definitely trying to get their act together. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that as well. However, I'm not seeing anything from the National Weather Service in Jackson about this area north of Kosciuszko, Mississippi, but I am keeping my eye on it. But for once again, the reason that I'm here is because we have an active tornado warning for another 40 minutes. That does include Hollandale, Inverness, Indianola, and the Moorhead, Mississippi area. And this is looking more and more like a straight line wind event right now in western Mississippi. But once again, since a tornado warning is issued, I want you to go ahead and be in your safe place right now. So the good news is that I do not see any sign of this thing being on the ground, unlike it was like an hour ago, because it was actually on the ground over here north of Bastrop, Louisiana, and south of Wilmot, Arkansas. So this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes and damage along its path. And so this would be a supercell thunderstorm with multiple tornadoes within this storm that is moving through the Hollandale, Mississippi area. Next up in line from this tornado or potential tornado would be Inverness, Isola, and Belzoni, Mississippi. And then I also note that there is this other storm that's trying to get its act together, and this one is looking more supercellular. That is just off to the north and to the west of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So this is going to be an interesting night, to say the least. But the reason that I'm here for another 49 minutes, we got a tornado warning for the Delta of Mississippi. This is for an area of northwestern Mississippi for Sunflower, Washington, Humphreys, and Sharkey counties in Mississippi. So let me also check on some other storms and see. And yeah, they're still showing signs of rotation that is over here. Just off to the north of Kosciuszko. So that is concerning me, and especially because this storm is moving up here towards Eupora and eventually over here towards Ackerman and Starkville. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that here in central Mississippi as well. But for once again, the reason that I'm here is because we actually have a tornado warning. We have a tornado warning that does include Hollandale, Mississippi, Inverness, Isola, and Belzoni, Mississippi. And this is in the Delta of Mississippi as well. And I'm waiting to see if Jackson is going to update. And so far, Jackson has not updated any kind of things in the chat or on their Twitter as well. So just waiting confirmation from Jackson to see what they're going to do with these warnings. But I do note that these storms over here towards the Kosciuszko, Mississippi area, they do bear watching because these storms are pretty potent and they are taking on supercellular characteristics right now. So this. Okay, Jackson just updated the warning. Radar indicated for Indianola, Moorhead, Belzoni, Mississippi. Okay, so they have updated the warning. It has continued to be radar indicated. So let me tell you, as of 9:07, which was 1 minute ago, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Darlove, or 7 miles north of Hollandale, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Okay, so this is north of Hollandale. Okay, so your tornado, let me just go ahead and show you while I read you the rest of the warning. They are saying that the tornado would be in this area right here, moving towards Isola and Inverness, Mississippi. And this, of course, is in the Delta of Mississippi. All right, so let me continue to read the warning off to you guys. And then once again, this warning goes until 9:45. Okay, if you're watching me in Isola, Mississippi at 9:20, that's when this tornado is going to be on top of you. If you are in Indianola or Inverness at 9:25, and then eventually up here towards Moorhead at 9:35 this evening. Once again, this is a radar-indicated tornado, but this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes back along its path. From Bastrop, Louisiana, and then into far southern Arkansas. So that is the reason that the Weather Service is continuing the tornado warning, just to be on the safe side, because this thing has pulsed up and it's pulsed down along its history. And I also note that if you are down here towards the Louise and Silver City, Mississippi area, just know that the Weather Service may issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this Boeing line south of where the tornado actually would be, for the Boeing line of storms just north of Rolling Forks, the Silver City, and Louise, Mississippi. All right, so right now we have a couple of just general thunderstorms and heavy rain that stretches from Natchez, Mississippi, up here to just off to the southwest of Philadelphia. We have a new batch of supercell and a thunderstorm that is showing signs of rotation north of Kosciuszko. However, north of Kosciuszko, there is no warning on that storm, but we do need to watch it for places like Eupora and Starkville and Ackerman, Mississippi. Then you've got another batch of storms that is up here north of Grenada, Mississippi, and then this one supercell long track storm that has produced tornadoes north of Bastrop and south of Wilmont, Arkansas. So there's a lot of stuff. And for my friends, let me just go ahead and show you if you're watching me up here in Oxford. There is a heavy batch of storms that is just south of you, basically stretching from Oxford to Taylor, down here to Water Valley, and moving on down here towards the Kosciuszko, Grenada, and Duck Hill, Mississippi. However, none of these are severe at this time. However, the environment is favorable for these storms to actually intensify. So I would not be surprised to see the Weather Service going ahead and possibly issue a severe thunderstorm warning for a couple of these areas up here in Mississippi. But for once again, the reason that I'm here is because we actually have one active tornado warning, and it's over here for the Hollandale, Inverness, Isola, Mississippi area. And this really does look like it is moving to more towards a straight line wind event rather than a tornado event. Your straight line winds would be along this line right here that I'm drawing as it pushes on off to the north and to the east. However, with the history of this storm having tornadoes with it, this is good that the Weather Service is going ahead and continuing the tornado warning based off of the reports that we've had further back off to the southwest with this storm. So once again, if you're watching me in Hollandale, I can give you guys the all clear from this storm, and pretty much I believe your severe weather is over with. So once again, if you're watching me back here in, let's see, Hollandale, Greenville, Arcola, your severe weather threat is over from this storm because the actual tornadic part has moved off to the east of you. And I do know that for any weather buffs, this cell is starting to take signs of a supercell thunderstorm north of Kosciuszko. And if you're watching me right now, Eupora, Mabin, Ackerman, Starkville, you need to really keep your eyes on this monster right here that could potentially start rotating at any time north of the city of Kosciuszko. And this actual storm, if you track it on out, it would take a track basically from Ethel to in between Eupora and Ackerman, and coming over here very close to Mabin and Starkville, Mississippi. So let me just go ahead and see real quick. There's definitely some rotation within that batch of storms that is coming up here just north of Kosciuszko. And I'm sure the Weather Service in Jackson is possibly thinking about pulling the trigger on a tornado warning for north of Kosciuszko. But there's no active warning right now. But you do need to watch that if you were over here towards Ackerman, Eupora, Mabin, and Starkville for the potential of a supercell thunderstorm coming together and possibly lasting and dropping a tornado at any time. But for one more time, the reason that I'm here is because we have an active tornado warning that is over here towards Indianola and down to just north of Silver City, Mississippi. And like I said, this thing is looking more and more like a straight line wind event coming up here from Indianola down to Isola. However, with this storm having a history of producing tornadoes back off to the south and to the west, I cannot rule out. Okay, Jackson just posted a tornado warning, but that is the continuation of the tornado warning for Indianola, Moorhead, and Bolzoni, Mississippi. Okay, so they are not saying anything right now about the storm that is here over the Mississippi, central Mississippi, north of Kosciuszko. So once again, this is Stephen Ray. I am doing severe weather coverage. We have a tornado warning, basically from Indianola down to Inverness, Isola, and Bozzoli, Mississippi. And then next up, if they continue on the severe or the tornado warning, next up would be over here towards Greenwood, Mississippi, Sidon, and Kruger, Mississippi. But for right now, there is one tornado warning that's going to be this one stretching from Indianola down to Bozzoli and just north of Silver City. Okay, so this warning goes for another 27 minutes. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado at 9:15. So this was 2 minutes ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Tribbett, or 9 miles southwest of Indianola. Moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So this is a tornado that will be near Isola by 9:20, which is in 2 minutes. Indianola and Inverness around 9:25, and Moorhead around 9:35. So once again, this is a radar indicated tornado on a storm that has had a history of producing tornadoes. Now, I can't guarantee that it was the same tornado, but definitely multiple tornadoes have been confirmed with this storm back when it was further off to the south and to the west. And I do note that this storm is starting to show really big signs of rotation north of Kosciuszko. And there's actually two areas of rotation, one coming up here south of Kilmichael and north of Ethel, and the other one is north of Kosciuszko. So this storm is definitely showing signs of becoming supercellular to the north of Kosciuszko. And if you're watching me in Ackerman, Eupora, Maben, or even over here towards Starkville, you need to think about, keep your eye on this, because this is going to be a pretty significant situation here, moving towards the Starkville, Mississippi area, Ackerman. So once again, the reason that we have a tornado warning here is because of a storm that has had a history of producing a couple of tornadoes, and I can actually zoom back in here and show you that one of these storms, the storm that is actually right now over Indianola and Inverness, Mississippi, went on a track from Bastrop to where it is right now. And north of Bastrop, you can see that tornado icon right there. Let me zoom in here, and let me also say at 7:38, which was about 2 hours ago, trees were blown down on a home, and a home was damaged with residents trapped inside and possibly injured. So that is the reason that the Weather Service in Jackson has continued the tornado warning, is because this storm has had a history of producing damage and a tornado along its path. So this is going to be a radar indicated tornado right now for Indianola, Inverness, Isola, and Belzoni, Mississippi. So once again, it's really looking more like a straight line wind event. So if you are basically from Indianola down to Inverness, Isola, basically from this line right here, you need to go ahead and be in your safe place if you are out and ahead of this line of storms, because this is a pretty significant straight line wind event looking like right now. So give me just a second. And once again, I do need to also mention that there is no formal watches, no formal warnings in anywhere in central Mississippi. There is only this one storm of concern that is over here in the delta of Mississippi for now. But there are other storms that are showing signs of rotation north of the Kosciuszko, Mississippi area. Okay, so let me just go in and say this because I have not said this tonight. Okay, if you live in the delta of Mississippi and you live along 49 West, you need to be in your safe place right now. And 49 West runs from Indianola down to basically Inverness and Isola. All right. So if you are along 49 West in the Delta, please be in your safe place if you live on 49 West between Indianola and down here to Belzoni and the Silver City. So once again, 49 West, please be in your safe place right now. And once again, that storm is really, really looking like it is trying to rotate north of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So once again, we're going to have to keep our eye on this storm north of Ethel and Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So the reason that I'm here is because we have a tornado warning for another 21 minutes over here between Inverness, Isola, and down to the Silver City in Mississippi. So next up in line is going to be Indianola and Inverness at 9:25, and then Moorhead around 9:35. And this warning goes for another 21 minutes, and it goes out at 9:45. So I would expect the Weather Service, if it continues to look like this, I would expect the Weather Service to go on ahead and let the tornado warning expire at 9:45. But I do know the storm of concern that is starting to get its act together north of Kosciuszko, and let me tell you, that is looking suspicious. Let me go over here and look at the Columbus, Mississippi radar site. And yeah, there's definitely a little bit right there coming just north of Kosciuszko. So going to have to keep our eye on that supercell right there as well, north of the city of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So once again, this is Stephen Ray, aka Stingray, and I want to thank the people that are watching me right now. We actually have a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Indianola, Inverness, and Isola. Okay, severe. Okay, so the Weather Service in Jackson has replaced or has extended the warning. However, allow me to say, they have extended the warning to include Greenwood, Tashula, and Itabena. However, it is a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so the Weather Service has decided to downgrade the further west or east you go from this. So there is your new severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. As soon as the warning goes out for the actual storm of concern, when the actual tornado warning goes out, which is going to be in about another 15 minutes, if it stays like this and it stays a severe thunderstorm warning, then I am going to just continue to do updates for you guys. But once again, this warning goes for another 19 minutes. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Tribbett, or 9 miles southwest of Indianola, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Now, the new severe thunderstorm warning goes for another 48 minutes. This warning does include the Greenwood, Mississippi area, and the Weather Service does note that there is a tornado possible within the actual text itself. So I tell you what, guys, I am actually going to sign off here on social media because there is literally no more threat of a tornado warning, I do not think. So I'm going to sign off, but I will continue to watch these storms across Mississippi, and especially the supercell north of Kosciuszko. And if anything happens to pop up or another tornado warning is issued, I will be right back here on social media.